Hello, wrestling world, and I want the public to know that I've been hanging out with these two before we got on the air, and I feel, a real comradeship with these two already. I know it's going to be a fun time.
Welcome to Alt Jake Takes On with Alt Jake and George.
Hello again, everybody. We are back. I am Alt Jake. You listen to Alt Jake Takes On, episode number 47. Here with my buddy George, as always. How you doing today, my friend?
Good. I'm still headbanging from the metal.
It's good. I like the little stops almost like it's good music. That's fun. Yeah, I know that our buddy Chuck has done very well with all that kind of stuff, since we always throw different ideas at him and he puts them together, makes it work better.
Trust me, they're vague ideas at best.
Right? Yeah. The one for the Sunday, literally the only thing I gave him was I wanted a round table, like discussion table in the middle of a wrestling ring. That was all, and then he gave us like a 90-second opening. It's great. No, I love it.
You know what we should do for a contest? Is try to have the listeners figure out which one of the wrestlers I am and what opening it's in, because I'm in one of them. I gave a hint one time where I was. So. Yep.
That's
anybody actually pays attention to what I'm saying.
stuff we can do once we hit that once we hit our 500 subscriber mark and get our because everything will always be free and available on there. But if there's membership options and things that people want to do, and we can make it more fun with that. That's cool. It's because we're at I think it's 456 subscribers as of today, as of the recording of this moment. So thanks to every single person who has subscribed. We really, really appreciate it. We've got more people coming out to our shows for our live shows every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here in the Alt Jake Takes On
day
YouTube
tomorrow.
channel.
Big day.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. It's one of the most fun things that we do. I feel like the Sunday Spaces show at 8 o'clock Eastern. This Sunday will be much earlier because of the Super Bowl, but that's probably like our most popular show because we've been doing it for the longest time, and it is a fun, great discussion show that you never know where it's going to be. But I feel like Dynamite really is the most fun that we can have with it, because we're trying to make it fun. We try to make it entertaining because we know that Dynamite is Dynamite, and you're getting what you're going to get.
It can be rough.
Yeah, but I like the idea of us watching it and giving people the reports so that they don't have to. And I feel like a lot more people are doing that, where it's like, we'll just hear it from them and see if there's any highlights or clips that I need to watch. But
still, the best part of that whole thing was me coming up with the idea in my head and going, how am I going to present this to Jake in a way that we can make this work? Because I thought about it for how long? About a month.
Yeah. And then we played that, and then I was going on my vacation to San Diego, so we didn't want to do it while we didn't want to start it or do it while I was out of town. So we did it right when we came back in September with it. But that's also too, that goes back to what I was talking about before with the channel and growing and fighting through the times where you don't see a lot of growth at the beginning. Smaller channels. It's when we were most of July, August, September. Our growth was, we weren't losing people. We weren't growing and getting more viewers like we have been the last, 8 weeks or so. But that's, we doubled down and put more effort into it and kept putting out the content because we were enjoying it too. It wasn't work for us. We were having fun with it. We added that third show, and look at us now. We've got more people coming to each show.
Fun. It's not a fun premise. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, that's like anything that we've done. Like, hey, we'll try it out. If either we're not enjoying it or the audience isn't enjoying it, or one or both of them, like we're out. So no, it's been a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't tuned in with us live, please, every Thursday and every Sunday, it's fun. It's really a good time. We appreciate all the replay crew as well. I know like Anthony works night, so he can rarely ever attend live, but the replay is great with them too, but I feel like the live interactions are fun. I'm getting better about figuring out how to put the chats up on screen. I've learned now how to, if I see them going live and don't want to put it up because we're going to cover, I can save them and get them ready and then put them up. Yeah. Hey, we're learning on the fly. We're figuring this out as we go here. We're professionally unprofessional around here, but it's
what's really weird? I'm changing the subject a tad.
You're good. No, that was the end of I just want to get promos and thank yous at the beginning, so we're good.
Cool. That's why I figured we were going. Yeah. Today or yesterday here, it was like 60 degrees. Tomorrow and the rest of the week, it's going to be 60 to 70 for at least 2 weeks, which is great.
You guys were covered in snow like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but today it's 40.
Oof.
It's one day. That's it. Yesterday was 60. Today's 40. Tomorrow's 60. Just one day. It's very strange. Odd.
Yeah, we're already starting to creep into the 80s here. I'm like, that's too early for that. That is too soon.
It seems a bit early for that, don't
it? It is. No, it is. And this, what usually happens is we'll get like this, the early spring, but then usually probably at some point mid to end of February, we'll have one more like cold spell. But we're cold for us is, highs under 60. So
yeah, weather. Gotta get a sweater on.
Yeah, we're a bunch of wusses. We understand. We know. I always say like I was born here and I was born in June here. Like I was my blood is.
Hey, I did stumble across something that's pretty interesting before we start.
Yeah.
So the NHL had their outdoor game Sunday night in Tampa.
Right. I remember you saying
I was like, it's a cool game, fun to watch, good times. But ESPN came out today. I think it was today or earlier. Sometimes they set a record for the most watched viewers in the last 7 years on cable. Okay. What do you think that number was?
On cable and you're talking just for a hockey game?
Yeah.
7 million?
2.4.
Jesus.
Yeah. That just shows, it kind of puts things into perspective. I kind of was dipping into the wrestling thing a little bit, but this kind of works into it. You can see where things are going.
Well, and that's why, and that's one of the things we talked about it before. I remember one of the conversations we had about NXT and ratings and stuff is that clearly people watch, and not everybody, but there's a lot of people in the audience when you watch Raw or SmackDown or whatever, that people know who a lot of these folks in NXT are, and maybe they aren't watching it live on CW to give the rating. Or what about the people that like have VPNs and just use it through Netflix or whatever with it? People are watching this, they're consuming it different ways. And it's same with hockey. I'm sure and with any sport, I'm sure there's ways that people are totally legally streaming it. Yeah, totally. Or using different apps or ways for it. Or with sports too, there is that people going out to watch it together at a bar or a restaurant or whatever too. So the fact that 2.4 is the highest in 7 years, and that's where, SmackDown getting 1.2, 1.4 million on a Friday, right? That doesn't seem so bad because SmackDown's on cable. And if that's for a hockey game too, and whenever it was, it's more of something that people are going to be inclined to watch as opposed to like Friday nights. People go out a lot, or if they have kids, they're doing different things, but still enough.
Picked a good night. Sunday night was a good night to watch the game. I had fun.
And that's smart to do it on the Sunday in between the conference championship and the Super Bowl too. That's real smart. That's really smart.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't realize that though.
Yeah. You want to tell what time we're gonna do Sunday then?
We might as well. I think 1 o'clock Eastern is probably good. Yeah, because then we can go early, because that gives people, especially too, because also for people that if they want to tune in before, if they go out to a Super Bowl party too, there's always that. Because some people don't watch the pregame, some people do, and some people are just going to consume it all and catch us on the replay, and that's fine. But
the only time I watch, I watch the main pregame, and the main pregame starts 2 hours before. So
that sounds
and plus, like you said, we want to cater a little bit, like once every couple months, to our overseas people. So London, it's 9 o'clock at night, so we got plenty of people that can tune in.
Yeah, actually, I think London. I think it's only a 6-hour difference from Eastern time.
Even better.
Yeah. Right, and then also
people in the chat. So
that's the time to have them come over too, because obviously, there are folks over there that the NFL does decently well, but as a whole, it's not nearly not gonna. It's not a national event. So
it's starting after midnight there, dude.
I did some time. When I was over there in 2003 and tried to watch, something something with baseball I was trying to watch, and the game started at 11 p.m. 11 p.m. time, and that's the start of a baseball game. 3.5 hours.
I couldn't do it.
I had hard enough time when I lived on the East Coast trying to watch West Coast games where they're starting at 10 p.m. You're like, I got things to do. It's one of the benefits of living on the West Coast. Occasionally you get things where they're a little bit too early, like the Royal Rumble starting at noon. My time was a bit early, but we made it work. That'll be fun.
Yes, we did.
Anything else you want to get into before we dive into the week?
No, I got my checklist marked off. We're ready to roll.
So I feel like it was cool for the fallout of the Royal Rumble, and Raw made sure to start and make sure that you saw the big WrestleMania Vegas sign. Like I know they had it in Saudi, but it was weird with how those crowds in stadium looked anyway. So it's a cool sign. It's this to me, that's always like the road to WrestleMania time, is when you go to any show and it's got the WrestleMania sign up there. I went to one. I went to the show before Mania 39. The Raw was here in Phoenix, and it was
cool.
It was fun to be a part of this. I didn't know how they were going to start the show because there were so many different things that happened, but I assumed that Breakker was going to come out and just be pissed and angry.
Yeah.
They showed some stuff of him on the WWE vlogs of him just being mad. And this,
hey, before we get there, I noticed something that prevalent at the start and throughout the show. And WWE was in Philadelphia for this. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia is known to be quite the rowdy crowds and stuff. I noticed it throughout the show, that the crowd is changing. Like, the crowd was not a Philadelphia crowd in the least bit. So what's been happening now, I've noticed all these towns that are known for their rowdy fans, they're priced out. And the different fans coming in. There's still a few that can get there, but it was noticeable.
Yeah, no,
on
that's
Monday Night Raw, big time.
Yeah, that is true. And for some of that, it might be a good thing in the sense of when certain crowds try to like take over and hijack the shows, which hasn't happened as much at all recently, if just because the shows aren't terrible. They only usually do that when the storylines or whatever was terrible with it. But I didn't even think about that. But you're absolutely right. The rowdy fan is definitely going to be priced out. Or also, too, even if they can't afford to go to the show, all the concessions and drinks or whatever at the stadiums are so much more expensive now, too. The combined together, you're just not going to get as crazy and rowdy, and then I'm sure security is more prevalent than ever too. So
it's just weird because they mentioned like ECW a couple times. You heard the ECW chants, but not like you used to.
Right?
It was noticeable to me, and I wrote it down. I started it and stuff. So I
even with like Cody and Punk and everybody, when they try to like reference the Philly crowd, it's there, but it's not nearly what it was. And
right.
Yeah, no, you're right. I noticed it, but more subconsciously. I didn't think, but you're absolutely right. And they were. No, that's but God, that's the pricing with almost everything. I've seen stuff with concerts now that are the starting price is $800. Like, you're not getting the people that are really into it for that.
Right.
You're getting people. It's where you're going to get to that point of where people, it's less about seeing what they're seeing and being seen at it. It's like what happened with boxing too. You saw the same stuff.
Good reference. Yeah.
Really right. Well, where it's more about being there and not actually watching the fight and caring about that. And that's it's definitely can be a problem. And that's one of the issues of TKO and the greediness overall, is it can really affect it. I didn't think about
that. It's gonna end up being a problem when you're trying to turn people heel to face or something like that. It's long-term effects, nothing major like that we're going to shut it down, but it's going to be noticeable.
But it's noticeable, especially for those of us that have been here week in, week out for as long as we have. That's a good point. I love this from Bron though. This was great. Like this was perfect, because I know some people were thinking like that was dumb of how they did it and taking him out of the Rumble. I thought it was great because then you didn't have to have
him in the Rumble.
Yeah, and then you didn't have to have him look. He'd have to make anybody look weak. He didn't have to look strong. It was perfect, and it's a great storyline. And he could just be so mad. And even Heyman's like got his tie undone a bit and looking disheveled, like he's just been trying to corral this beast of angry Breakker. Which, I was on Toonie Talk Wrestling on Tuesday. We were talking about this, and they, Dis asked, who do we think it is? And I still am pretty convinced at this point that it's Logan Paul who attacked Bron. And it was Dis who mentioned like maybe Paul Heyman's behind that because he's afraid to take control Breakker. And
I like that idea.
I do too, just because like you've seen it, like, it was Breakker who just made the decision on his own to attack Seth in the storyline. Like Heyman didn't know. And there's been other times where he's tried to control and corral him. And Logan Paul is just as big of a star, possibly even bigger in the mainstream, and, a smarter business mind and maybe a little bit less hot-headed. So I like that part of it. And then when I was looking at pictures and saw this face from Heyman, I'm like, that could work. I could see it. It's interesting. And it's not something that we're going to find out sooner than later. I think they're going to
which
drag
is
it
good.
out. Right.
Which is good.
And that's the difference with the one when it was Austin Theory that didn't, that went as long as it could and you didn't want to drag it out any longer. This is more, this is different. Plus, there's still like the thought of, is it Seth or is it, somebody else completely, or LA Knight?
I think like you or I said, or you said, it could be anybody now. All Triple H is going to do is look at what people are saying and go, well, okay, I'm going to make it, whoever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, it does matter, but you know what I mean.
Right. But they can still kind of see where they go with it. I still think, I think it was Logan. I think that's where they want to go with it, but we'll see. There's options and it's fun. And then Pierce coming out and being kind of a jerk to him was great too. Like, I like this from Pierce. I feel like some of the issues they had with Pierce, especially when he was trying to be GM of both shows, kind of like one of those, if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. If you're GMing both shows, really, you're GMing neither. It was. And he always just looked like he was getting punked and getting taken advantage of. And they had some of that previously with him on Raw, but it does seem like he's kind of coming more into being a real authority figure, which is fun.
They brought out security. They brought out security that actually looked big.
I was gonna say they actually had big dudes. Yeah. And then they actually like did it smart where they formed like a 2-man wall in front of Pierce, with like there was 10 of them. So 5 and 5. That made sense. They didn't look like idiots, which unfortunately most security people do. And then what I wasn't surprised about, I kind of expected this. So I was looking for LA Knight. I'm like, he's got to come out and attack somebody with it. I thought he was gonna do.
I thought he was buried.
Yeah. Well, and if you saw that clip on, was it from Unreal? Looked like he wanted to quit the business. Is what I saw people saying too. Rumors of demise, right?
Back in the day, it's called constructive criticism, folks.
Yeah.
You take somebody aside and you tell them what they did wrong. You don't yell. Like Triple H wasn't yelling at him. He wasn't happy, but he wasn't yelling. He was just telling him what he thought to do. That's all.
Right. And it wasn't.
People can take it. I can always take it. Like you can take it from me. I take it from you. It's how we work. It's how society operates.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was just berating him and telling him everything he did wrong and that. Like he's saying and here's what he could have done, or here's what we could have got out of it. Like presenting it as constructive criticism. Here's what didn't work. Here's where no, and that's one of those things too. If like with people, I mean, you see it with people like on both sides, mostly the AEW sickos, but I've seen it with WWE people too. It's usually more of like with a superstar than the company, but like no matter what, that the person can't do any wrong or the company can't do any wrong. And so if you give any criticism at all, you're acting like you're saying, this is the worst thing ever. You can't get any better. There's no good in any of it. It's like, well, no, you can get better at things. That's how it works. That's how
Look at it this way. If Tony Khan took half of the advice that Cornette has given him for free over the years, guarantee it wouldn't be in this spot it is now.
Yeah, I mean, even if he took a quarter of it from Cornette and a quarter of it from Bischoff, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many out there that are giving it to him for free that he just, but he just looks at it as an attack. It's not. They don't look at it as criticism. It's an attack on their person. And I mean, I guess, that's one of the things where people are like, oh, you hate Tony. I'm like, I don't hate Tony. I don't like that he thinks he knows better than other people and that he thinks he knows all. And he's, like you. Like with us starting this channel, if we'd have thought that we knew everything, like, right? And Dis mentioned it actually last night on the show when he did the video, the intro that he showed him. He wasn't sure about how I was going to take it but it was hilarious because I can laugh at things, but he even said like I didn't know, how you were going to take things of it, how certain people are, because certain people will just get so mad and fight back at everything for it. And it's like, no, we can. And Dis before a couple of different times, like, hey. Like I'll give you the specific example, the thumbnails. I was putting too much into them because I was trying to put everything we talked about, like the major things in the show. And he's like, you just got to focus on one and put the other ones in the description. Sure enough, I did that. And like I started to see some increase in traffic with it. It made sense. And that one, and I didn't be like, oh, no way, man. I'm doing it my way. I know all. It was like, hey, no, that's a good point.
Yeah. It's like,
I'll try it.
What I wrote down was kind of like it as if JD DM'd you and me and gave us some tips on what to do. And we wrote back, F you.
Right. Yeah. What do you know? Yeah,
why? Yeah. Why would we do that?
Right.
He's got 400,000 subscribers. Why would we not take advice from somebody that knows what they're doing?
And especially, and it would be advice, and it'd be different if he just DM'd. It was like, God, you guys are terrible. Here's all the crap you're doing wrong, and then left. Because that's not what this is. It's constructive criticism, and if they're using it for LA Knight's story, and now his T-shirt's like Unchosen or whatever. Like it's perfect. But use it to your advantage.
If you're like a fellow YouTuber in the YouTube universe, you don't go about it that way anyway. So if you do, you realize the person's a jerk.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, because Dis and I had become kind of friends and friendly back and forth with messaging and stuff. And yeah, it was one of the things of like, hey, here's and it wasn't presented as anything more of here's why this will help and here's why this is a better way of approaching it. And I'm like, I didn't think about that because I'm new at this. I don't know everything. No. And anybody who thinks they do,
it changes so fast.
Yeah.
Everything changes so fast.
Yeah. And that's why, one of my favorite phrases is life is a team effort. You're not going to get through this on your own. It's just, and if the people who do are usually very sad and lonely. But then we had this, they got to redo the match where Evans got hurt. Javon versus, I guess regular El Grande Americano, because the other one's original Americano, they're calling him. But this was fun. This was cool to see, again, this is why they took Javon out of that match when it happened, and because he tweaked his shoulder, so he didn't get further injuries. And obviously, obviously he hurt it on some level, awesome. But it was, it's great. This is why, it's not like the old days where you just powered through with it, but it's better this way. It's better for everybody's health, and especially for this kid, because imagine if he had gotten hurt and then he wouldn't have been able to be, was he in the final 4 or the final 3 of the Royal Rumble? You know what I mean? Like that was a big moment for him, and well deserved.
But I like the fact they just didn't blow it off like nothing happened. Like they mentioned it earlier that this is a rematch because of the last time, and he comes in, it's taped up, and he's still favoring it. So that was good. Good selling work for me.
Yeah,
for me,
and good for good for WWE for doing that, because we all remember, that was one of the biggest, if not the biggest issue with Vince, is he would just act like, oh, people will forget. There's no way they'll remember. Yes, we will. We pay attention. We're not that stupid. But the match goes back and forth, and the other Americanos, what is it, Rayo and Bravo, get involved, and you knew that was going to happen, and you knew this was really all to bring back Chad Gable, who's just right. Like you said it, I don't know if you said it was on Sunday or even during the Royal Rumble. Yeah. Look, too bad he didn't use that time off to get in shape. Jesus, this guy's got negative body fat, I swear.
Jake Doyle, please take notes.
Right. I also like that on his on the forehead of his mask it says American Made too, the old logo with his group. Like it's good. This is fun stuff. This is a good way of doing that. They made this work. Like obviously this wasn't the plan. Gable didn't plan to get hurt, but you use your resources, use the tools in front of you, play the cards you're dealt. And this is fun. I like this idea. And obviously I think it's going to lead to Ludwig getting unmasked, but we'll see where it goes. Wonder what's going to happen with old Bate and Pete Dunne there with them, but it's fun. Yeah.
I like the fact the referee didn't DQ him for the steel plate, because the referee saw it, but he never actually used it. Cause I was like immediately thinking, no, this is going to end in a DQ, but the referee took it and he's like, okay, he didn't use it. So they didn't do the disqualification finish, which I thought was coming.
Yeah, which is one of the good things. I know sometimes you hear some people complaining like, oh, well, if they brought the weapon in, that's an automatic DQ, because it used to be, but the business has evolved a bit, and that worked. No, I thought that was a great way of doing it, and everybody got over where they needed to, and good for Javon. So we make the jokes from time to time that maybe Triple H or the creative staff is listening into us, and which it's generally a joke. But do you remember what I said they should have done with Gunther after John Cena, where he plays Cena's music and then Gunther comes out and gives crap to the fans? Well, they did it with AJ Styles. Yeah. I was in my kitchen pouring filling up my water bottle, and I hear AJ's music, and I was like, oh, all right, he's coming out to say goodbye. And I pop my head in and I see Gunther, and I'm like, this is it's the old Sean in Montreal. Who's your daddy, Montreal? Like, oh, it was perfect. And just the heat. Yeah, the Gunther, the man in black.
Caught me a little off guard watching the replay of it. I was like, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah, but it was good. I mean, there's no reason for him not to do this. It's just a great way to get extra heat on top of the heat that he's already getting. And, it's a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. And then
I have not bought in 100% to this Gunther just yet. I don't know what something's missing for me, and I can't explain what it is. I don't know.
It's not just you. There's, Gunther does get a lot of what seems like universal praise because there are a lot of people that really do enjoy it, but it's definitely not everybody. I know Chris Connor isn't sold on him, and there's a few other things, but that's why I've always kind of been, mostly just because of the transformation from who he was as Big Van Walter to this. It's impressive, and it's been fun to watch with him. And I like the big foreign heel and the way he's doing it in this sense of it. But, it's one of those things that they've got to keep pushing into it. And I kind of, when he was doing this, I was kind of thinking, I'm like, I kind of saw what was going to come, where in the sense where Dragon Lee is going to come out and be mad because he just retired his partner, and then get a few moves in until Gunther. I wasn't sure how he was going to do it, but he used the ring bell and just beat the snot out of poor old Dragon Lee. Chokes, gives him the
this right here. This right here caught my attention because I was like, okay, the sleeper on the ropes thing, it's got to be done right.
Yeah.
To be convincing. And when Dragon Lee dropped his feet, he was dangling there and then just crumbled. I was like, wow, that was done.
No, it really was. Yeah. And where he just, it literally looked like he was just a corpse at that point, just a body just hanging there. Yeah, exactly. No, it was great. And it's one of those things that Dragon Lee is not super, super over, but people like him. Nobody hates the guy. You know what I mean? Like it's, and you just have to see him getting drugged off. Like it was fun. It was a fun segment in that sense. And it's just more heat on Gunther of just him being this giant bully, whether it's a young luchador in Dragon Lee or the greatest of all time in John Cena or Bill Goldberg, AJ, they all tapped out like a bitch. It's a great way to get heat. I'm just curious where they're going to go with.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, where are they going to go with this now? Exactly.
Yeah. It might be Oba. Like it could see that actually happen. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just,
man, that'd be
I don't know. I'm because you got to have it be somebody who's big. And clearly it's got to be somebody who's like a for sure baby face. Cause people have been talking about Brock and Gunther, and while, that could be fun. And they'd have to do a heel, but I feel like there's a chance to have somebody be a baby face going into the fight against Gunther at Mania, but we'll see. Maybe we'll just be Brock and Gunther, and Gunther can murk Brock.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me.
It wouldn't. No, I'm just not sure.
But you can turn. Brock can be a face in 2 seconds.
This is true.
Come out with the cowboy hat on. You're good. There you go.
Right. All right. Or yeah. And talk crap to Heyman. And then speaking of, we had Heyman and Pierce in the back with Pierce being smug.
I enjoyed this so much.
I love any time this stuff. I think this is like this extra bonus that I didn't quite expect from the Heyman Vision stuff, because obviously Heyman's always going to be getting involved with authority figures, Aldis, Pierce, whomever, but this specifically with how Breaker's been and Heyman, it's just the two of them together is gold. Like this is an unexpected bonus, but I love all of it.
Yeah, Pierce works well with Heyman 100%. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah. Heyman gets the best out of just about everybody, and then just Heyman trying to get Bron to leave too. Again, like Heyman can't control Breaker, and he knows that. So that's where it just makes so much sense. Even if it's not Logan Paul, whoever it is, I feel like Heyman's behind it because he just wants to, because Heyman, he wants to be in control. That's why it didn't work with Solo. It just, I love it. It's fun. I'm entertained and I'm intrigued every time for what they do and what they're going to do next.
It'd be interesting if there's somebody out there that we don't know that's like a free agent or something, and they bring somebody in that we don't expect. That would be
they're definitely good. There's definitely options.
Because we've now learned that WWE can keep secrets. So
yes, that's for sure. And anybody who leaks anything seems to not stick around too long. They're not trying to talk to any of this because it doesn't benefit them. Where does it benefit anybody to have that happen? We want the surprises.
I completely shut myself off of Twitter unless I go on there to post something about Sunday shows and stuff. Yeah, I don't want to know what's going to happen. I like to be where I
Yeah.
am now. It's perfect.
Yeah, for sure. Luckily with WWE, you can still be on there and they don't let you know.
Yeah.
It's good.
But now I don't want to know
yeah.
what happens on Dynamite either, though. You
For
know what
sure.
I mean?
No, I
I'm
get
watching
you.
it with you. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's more fun to go in blind for sure. Like I try to be active on Twitter just to get to help promote the channel and interact with people and make people laugh and stuff. But once Dynamite starts on Wednesdays, I just put my phone down until I start the show. And then you had this segment, this I guess the most controversial-ish segment to a point on Raw. Oba and the War Raiders. People, first off, I don't think people understood what was happening in the sense because people were acting like this was booked as a squash handicap match.
Nope.
No, the War Raiders were supposed to be in a tag match against somebody else. They said who it was going to be, but I forget. They were supposed to be in a tag match, and Oba just came out and was like, "Screw it, I'm attacking you." This wasn't a match, guys. Nobody was pinned. There was no submission. It was just Oba showing, because he's a free agent, so he's showing his worth, which I didn't realize until they said it.
They
last
mentioned
night.
it, yeah.
Yeah, and when they said that, I was like, ooh, I like that. I even tweeted that out right away. I'm like, I really like that with it because it's something different. And, he's, technically he's an unproven free agent in the sense like he would be a rookie on the main roster in that sense of it. And now he's proving what he can do and showing his worth and talking about what do they call it? Like picks that go hard. This is just wow. Like they just wow.
This didn't bother me in the least bit.
No, not at all. I
where
saw no
the,
issues with it.
Where are the War Raiders on the card?
Right.
When was the last time you saw them on Raw? What's their position in the company?
Yeah.
They can sell fine, but they haven't been on TV in months.
Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, they're two good guys. They can sell. Bingo.
And again, it wasn't booked as a match, so it wasn't something where they've got it out that they were taken off guard and he just came in and attacked them. They weren't ready in that sense of it. But yeah, clearly, I mean, what is their future? Like they're talented guys to a point. Ivar much more so than Eric even when you saw when Eric was hurt and the Ivar got a decent singles push for a bit. But I think that they're brothers and they want to stay together. They're those kind of friends and. Because I feel like the WWE would keep Ivar and make something with him. I just don't think that's what they want and what Eric wants probably inside. I would just assume they're not going to be re-signed.
Yeah, they're getting older. They're injury prone.
Yeah. Just mentioned that last night too. Yeah. I forgot about that. You're right. And it's one of those things where right when anytime, I think 2 or 3 different times when they started to get a little momentum as a team, one of them gets hurt. So yeah.
Now, like you said exactly. If they would have said the War Raiders in a handicap match against Oba Femi, different story completely. Different story completely.
Yeah, that's booked in that way, 100%. And I feel like at least some of the reactions that I saw of it, people were acting like
that's
it was
stupid.
That. Thank you. This is why I love you, George. Yeah, that's stupid. You guys are dumb.
Realize what it is and just go with it. That's all you gotta do.
Exactly. The Finn Balor vignette promo was cool. I mean, he's great at this kind of stuff. I don't think he's really got a shot at getting the world title again anymore, unfortunately, with where the roster is now. And that's not a slouch on him. It's just like, it's not so much that he's moved down in places. It's that people have moved over him in places, if that makes sense. Right.
Plus you need somebody for CM Punk to work with before.
Yes, you do. You do, and he's got a good pedigree, and he's a great worker. He's a great seller, and maybe he's not
going to hurt CM Punk,
right? Yeah, But I have seen some people for some reason thinking that he's going to get himself into the main event and be in a triple threat at Mania. And guys, come on. Now I could see that this is maybe how he ends up breaking away from the Judgment Day and doing his own thing again or whatever, and maybe being a babyface, bring back the old music and stuff, but. We'll see. I at least wanted to talk about it because I enjoyed it and I thought it was good, but I don't see it really going anywhere with it. And then we had the return of the Bella Twins on Monday Night Raw. I still feel like I would love to know what Daniel Bryan had to say to Tony Khan, like it had to break because technically she's allowed to do this. She's got her own career, right? Yeah, there is her husband could be mad at her, Tony can be mad, but who gives a shit? Exactly. I would love to have heard that conversation and Tony getting all pissy about it just because, what are you going to do? No.
By the way, Finn Balor is 44 years old.
Yeah. Yep. and he's been wrestling a tough style for a long time, and he's a great coach and trainer. So I wouldn't be surprised
100%.
if he.
But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed this for what it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, we talked about it before. We talked about it, I think Sunday, and even during the Rumble. Just Nikki on her own was just
satisfactory at best.
Yeah, at best. And at worst, people said a lot of terrible things. But when you put them together, like, it just makes sense. Neither of them are great workers, but that's if you can tag out and take a breath. There's something there. Dude,
you had grown women in the crowd crying.
Yeah, no, we've talked about that too. Where there's people that they got into wrestling because of the Bellas and Total Divas, Total Bellas. I think it was Mike Glass who said in the chat on Sunday, Mania. They win the tag titles for their one and only time as tag champs at Mania. It makes a ton of sense. Vegas isn't that far from Scottsdale. Like it tracks. I have no issues, which is surprising because I've never been a Bellas guy, but I've never hated them either. They've just been what they are.
No, when you can look outside years later and see what they were actually doing,
yeah,
it makes sense.
Yep. And then you get Penta versus Bronson Reed. This was, this was mostly just a squash for a good while. Penta just selling his ass off. He'd get his moves in, but Bronson Reed is just him with this confidence. And then he also too, he's got the whole Vision there with him and all that fun stuff. But
I thought this one I thought this went a little longer than it should have, but I knew what they were doing, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. You might be right. Honestly, I didn't. I think by this point I was able to skip through the commercials, so I didn't really. Yeah, you're probably right, though. I mean, I
think it went through like 2 commercial breaks.
Okay. Yeah, no, I knew it went through at least one, but if it went through the second, 2 commercial breaks is too long for any match. I'm sorry. I
would agree.
Yeah. But you kind of knew where it was going in the sense where LA Knight was going to come out. And like the moment he gives him the BFT out of the chair on the outside, it's like, oh, well, that's going to be a count out victory for Penta. And it was. And that was good. And just Heyman just gets madder and madder, and just angry Heyman is fun. I enjoyed that part of it.
It was funny seeing a referee's count actually being an actual count for once. Like normally it's like 1, 2. This one was actually 1, 2, and the crowd was counting along. That was good.
Yeah,
done.
Yeah. Well, because he didn't have to save it. Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was great, that part of it. And then, like I said, like we talked about earlier, LA Knight, so buried. He's going to AEW. He's leaving WWE. He's so sad. Yeah, he's in a major program. He's probably going to wrestle one of the Vision at WrestleMania. Makes a ton of sense. And then we had Dom come out to introduce Liv, which was just these two together. I still don't know how long it's going to be together because I still feel like there's some sort of breakup coming at some point, but milk it for as long as they can. They are great together.
Was he scheduled to be on the show, or was this just kind of a surprise?
I'm not sure of. I know he got injured.
Yeah,
he got
exactly.
Injured. Yeah,
exactly. Okay.
Yeah, which is why all he did was come out, and I think the only thing physical was like Liv jumped on him and like hugged him, but that was about it.
It's tough to take.
rough life for old Dom there. I don't know. I didn't even know. I didn't know he'd gotten hurt in AAA till the Rumble. And at one point, someone was saying, "Where's Dom?" And I forget who mentioned it, but probably Chris Conant mentioned that he was injured. He got injured at one of the AAA shows. But This was cool to see. I mean, Liv's awesome. It's great. I'm not sure what she's gonna do. Where she's gonna make the decision with it, but she doesn't have to make it anytime super soon, especially with how the show ended. I like Raquel fully paying homage to Kevin Nash.
Thank goodness they finally figured this out.
Yeah. I mean, clearly he's he's given her the seal of approval, signed off, and that's great. And it works for her because it's a great gimmick and character for her with her size, and it's much more than just the girl with a nice back who can smile. But these two,
she should have won this, by the way.
I kind of feel like that might have been maybe she should have. I don't know. And I'm a big Stephanie fan. I just don't know where it's going to go with it and what to do. But
because this match was all in Raquel's wheelhouse, man. She was dominating. She made her moves look so impressive. They were awesome. I'm like, she's going to win this. And then I realized it wasn't going to happen. But
yeah,
in my opinion, she should have won.
I can see that. Yeah. No, I'm not 100% on board with that, but I'm not like that far off. Yeah, I feel like you're probably
my
right.
thought process was if she wins it, then you would think Liv would just automatically pick the other champion.
Right, but then does Liv want to pick Jade? I feel like it'd be more that's what they want. That what they would want you to think. But Liv would be like, maybe I got a better chance of beating Raquel than Jade. You know, I don't want to fight Jade. Oh shit!
Everyone's like, well, she's not going to fight Raquel. She's going to fight Jade. Then she realizes Jade's not opponent.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't want to fight Jade either. And then Liv obviously comes out and does the attack on Stephanie too, and makes you think with it. But I like this, and I don't think they need to have Liv make the decision, at least until we get a little bit closer to the Elimination Chamber, but we will see.
So Raquel was pissed that she had help.
Yeah.
Because she had specifically asked for them to stay in the
match. Which that could cause tension, causing rifts. I've seen other ways of people where they have fantasy booked it where it works where Raquel wins and Liv challenges for it. So I could see it happening for sure. We've got time. WrestleMania is not till the end of it, like the 20th, 21st, something like that in April. And then we had the big segment, the one that everybody was talking about in a positive fashion after the show of the Roman Reigns decision segment, which I thought he was just going to come out and, tease and talk. But like literally he starts and then Punk comes out and you're like, oh, we're getting into it here, which I thought it would, these are just two professionals. This is what AEW wishes they had when they had Hangman, Swerve, and Kenny out there, just trying to make it work. Like these two know how to cut promos. I also liked Punk's Philadelphia Flyers shirt there with the orange and black. That was smart, and it was like it had the Phil on the back of his shirt. That was cool. Yep. And then he calls out Finn Balor, going back to what you said earlier. So perfect. Punk's going to have a feud with Finn, probably have a match at the Elimination Chamber. That would make a lot of sense.
I did really like Roman's comeback to this a little bit. He's like, you're mentioning Finn Balor on my time? That was awesome.
Yeah. No, and I liked all the comeback because and Punk even saying it's like your time. You're a guest here on my show. Right. I'm here every week. Like there was a lot of good stuff back and forth with those two there. And even like where Punk said, you can take the easy way out. And he's like, Drew's 4 times your size. Again, these are professionals. And maybe they don't actually like each other. We don't know. I know Roman kayfabes in the interviews a lot because, he's to where he doesn't want people thinking that he's friends with Cody or whatever with it. So maybe they don't like each other, but they're professionals and they can actually.
Dude, I'd love the fact they brought up the McAfee thing in here. I'd love that. They harped on it for at least 2 minutes, which was really cool of them to do.
Yeah, and and they even mentioned it at the Rumble too, because obviously that's storyline and helping parts of it. That's just like any Unreal is going to push some storylines. The interviews they're going to do McAfee for sure because McAfee's part of the inner circle. But anytime they've done interviews, I saw I think it was last year going into Mania, maybe the year before. Roman was on stuff with like Stephen A. and being in kayfabe with it. It's part of it. It's great.
Everyone thought that McAfee thing. Oh, Roman's all mad.
Yeah,
being used right. Even the big shows said. I'm like, dude, you guys got hooked in. Big time.
Well. And you know what that is? Those are those people, and I just don't understand how anybody can still listen to the reports and still want to believe them. We've talked about it before with shows that we listen to of like, Cornette and Last will make fun of Dave, say that he doesn't report, and then later in their show, be like, oh, well, we've heard this. But if you heard it from Dave, it's like, because I remember Dave was saying that Roman was, what did he call him? The odd man out. That's what he called him for Mania.
Obviously.
Yeah, he's the odd man out. Yeah, okay, sure. That's it. And I was just surprised that we got the decision here where Roman's like, I'm choosing you because I hate you. I was shocked by that. But that's
I wonder if they went Triple H, knowing Triple H kind of like we do. Maybe, I don't know. But I think they went out, CM Punk went out there and said, get a feel for it, see what the fans feel like. And if Roman wants to make his decision here, he can make it. And the crowd really,
the crowd wasn't,
Drew McIntyre got like, and CM Punk fans were like, wow, okay, well, the crowd perked up for this one.
And like Punk was feeding into it, but because he was doing like Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, but even he could have been doing in any tone or inflection because the moment Roman got out there before Punk's music hit, people were chanting for it. I mean, honestly, if I'd sat down and thought about it from the moment Roman, it makes the most sense for him to challenge Punk. I mean, Roman versus Punk, with how Punk brought Roman into the company, and they made sure to mention that too. And Heyman, like it's one of those things that makes too much sense, but it makes sense in the best way. Like, yeah, okay, it's a little bit of predictable in that sense, but it's predictable because he should be picking Punk. Like, he should want this. And Punk is also right on some point too. Or not Punk, Drew, Roman's also right too. Like, Drew is 4 times Punk's size. It's like, I wouldn't want to fight the bigger guy if I don't have to. So yeah, no, it all makes sense. It was all great. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and all it did was get me more excited for WrestleMania, which
the key thing, well, I'm not sure it's key anymore these days, but this will sell tickets in a heartbeat.
Yes.
If this was like next door to my house or 10 miles away, or I'd buy a ticket to go see it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And with WrestleMania, because it's such a big event and there's so much going on and everything is so expensive, you probably do want to make sure you've got a big marquee to sell tickets for. I mean, obviously this is the night 2 main event. This is the Sunday main event. And I'm sure I don't know if the single day tickets are on sale yet, if it's still just the package ones, but I'm sure. Okay. That makes a ton of sense. Let's announce that it's going to be Roman and Punk, and then make sure that single day tickets are on sale, and watch the Sunday. Like, if you could only go to one, like if you could only afford to go to one, and you got to buy it early because you got to book your travel in advance or whatever. If I could only go to one right now, that's what I would pick. Even if there are other good matches with it.
That went from like Roman's going to come out, tease going to SmackDown to look at Drew in action or whatever they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It went from that, Roman being the odd man out, to being the main event of WrestleMania in 10 minutes. And that's all people are talking about.
And and WWE, and another thing we were talking about too with ratings earlier, WWE was smart enough. That whole segment was online. What I usually do is I start Raw live, and then I'll pause it at some point, usually make dinner or whatever, and then I come back to it, and then fast forward to the commercials. By the time I'd finished it and went back on X just to like see what was going on and post, like the entire video was posted by WWE and by somebody else that was an affiliate that was legally allowed to, and they had the whole 13-minute clip from the moment Punk's music starts till the end of the show. Like, they want people to see this, they want people to be excited about it, and I think they are. I'm ready for it. Awesome.
Dude, it was amazing. I even texted you at the time.
Yeah, you did.
What I did was I missed it Monday, so I watched it Tuesday morning because I'm off of work for the week. So I watched it, and there's no commercials on the replay, which is nice. So I was just kind of fast forwarding spots I didn't like, and I got to this. I'm like, oh, there's 13 minutes left. This is not going to go and it went. And the quickest 15 minutes I've ever spent on TV.
Yeah,
nice to
it
watch.
burned through. It was great, and that's professionals. It was exciting. I am very excited I am ready for at least the main event of WrestleMania is set in stone, and we're ready for it. And now they have Liv can do, because she even said it with their thing with I'm going to go to SmackDown on Friday and be part of that. So yeah, and having one of them, it's kind of like with the Money in the Bank, where usually like one of them cashes it in like that night or like within the first week, so you don't have 2 going around. It just makes too much sense and worked perfectly, and I love it. I'm sold. But yeah, it's the road to WrestleMania start to get set, and then I guess we're setting the road to Stand and Deliver on NXT, which will
oi.
Yep. I figured they were going to start.
You missed the Adam and the Ants reference.
Oh, Adam and the Ants. I know of Adam and the Ants. I can't say
that's a classic from my day. I'm sorry.
You're good. No, you're good. And normally music, I'm better at it. That's just that.
That's a specific MTV niche audience person. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yep. Yeah. No. I want my MTV commercials. Like, I knew about them, but I'm born in '82, so I was a little bit late to that game. No, I thought they had to start do something to at least like make sure it was storyline of
covered.
Ava being and Sean was just like, we need a new GM. It just is what it is, and you had to do something with it. And this makes sense because obviously you got to do an interim GM. I still think I need to go back and try to figure out when you said that about Paige / Saraya, but you said it forever ago that's what she needs to be doing is the GM of NXT, and it just makes perfect sense, especially with her NXT history. You know, she's British, so she can tie into Regal. Like it just, I think it would make a lot of sense for it, and she'd be able to like hold her own in promo battles. Like you've got me sold on it. So that's Mr. Stone makes a lot of sense for
temporary.
Then.
Yes.
Yeah,
temporary.
Yeah, interim. It's like
yes,
interim head coach, caretaker manager, as they call it in English soccer. And then you started off with the North American title match where with Izzy Dane and Lola Vice and Thea Hale. Izzy Dane's really been coming into her own the last few months for sure.
Yes,
like,
I wrote that down big time.
Yeah, like clearly they believe in her, and obviously she's willing to put in the work. I mean, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago that she lost she had the match against Tatum Paxley and lost, and then had the match against Thea Hale and won in the same night. And it wasn't like either match was squash or short. Like they were both, 10-15 minute matches. And I mean, she's a volleyball player. She's got a lot of athleticism. She's got a great look. She's got a good size to her. And this is what NXT's for.
They're going in that direction.
Yeah.
If you look at the women's talent now,
mm-hmm.
I mean, Jordan Grace, Lash Legend, Izzy Dane, Ruka, they're all.
Yeah, I mean, Zarya, Jade. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. And then if you look at obviously I know Io's a big star too, but Tiffany's got some size. Bianca, Rhea, obviously,
they're going, With the men, they're going that direction, but the women already have it. So.
Yeah, it's funny how the women seem to always be a bit ahead of the game with it. Same with that, the NXT men's division has been good the last couple of years, but the women's division's been great for a long period of time. And that's another reason where that's great for Izzy too. She's getting to work with all these different people. And then Kalani Jordan comes out and costs Lola Vice the chance at winning the match. So that continues their feud together, which is smart and good stuff there.
Yeah, she's picking up the boos in the crowd. Good,
yeah,
good
no, I still am surprised by that, because when she initially turned heel, I'm like, this isn't a good idea. I didn't think she had it in her. And from one promo, I was like, nope, I was wrong. My bad. She's got it. She can do it. She can be a bitch. It's great. And Izzy too is also working around with Sean Spears, who is a known wrestling coach and trainer, and I'm assuming she's taking the coaching well, otherwise she wouldn't be getting pushed as she is. So
we've said it a million times. There's a reason they put people with certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a reason this is happening. There's a reason that Oba fought Cody Rhodes. There's reasons for everything.
Yep. yeah. It's not random. They put a lot of thought and effort in the decision and giving people the best chance to succeed. I mean, just like with Oba coming up to the main roster. Yeah, I mean, he vacated the NXT title, almost a month ago. And then they just showed vignettes and he's coming, and then have him in the Rumble and never have to do too much and hold the whole match because the people are coming in. And then he murks the War Raiders in a non-match. So you're just accentuating what he can do and just making him look better, giving him the best chance to succeed. And that's what I love about NXT. And then you had the another scene of dissension with it, but we can we could see where it's going with it, and how by the end of the show, was it called Zaruka? That's what their name is together. Yeah, they're no more. But we saw that pretty much last week with when Zarya knew that Soul was going to be in the Royal Rumble, she was mad at her and jealous, and that's fine. I still think it would have been cool to see Soul be the one to turn on Zarya, but neither here.
They could still do it because
they still could technically.
You're
right.
Put the Soul Snatcher on her at the end, so who knows?
Right, and she acted like she didn't know. You're right. You are right. And they had that scene with JC James. You're right. They could, and I think it would be. I think that depends. If they want to keep Soul in NXT for a bit longer, that's the way you go, so she can get some heel work down there. If you think she's ready to go up, just bring her up as the ultimate babyface. People love her. I mean, she's hard. She's like Javon Evans in that sense. It's just hard not to root for her. It just seems like that'd be somebody you would enjoy hanging out with. And then we had the Tony D segment, which we've been saying he needed to speak. And last week he said he was going to speak and came out and, gave his little, basically a refresh of the character. I'm no longer in La Cosa Nostra, going to be my own man, still from Chicago, still a badass in Dark State and coming for you. Sweet.
Right.
I liked it. And then
there's nothing I think we've mentioned it with a couple people here. There's nothing wrong with just being an NXT guy. Tony D'Angelo's been there for 5 years.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with just being an NXT. Nothing.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. No, we've been saying that about Ethan Page and possibly JC Jane. Yeah, for sure. Especially now with how they do travel. Like they announced during this show, they're going back to center stage in Atlanta. They do the ECW arena, and it's not. And if you're selling merch, and get to make a Royal Rumble appearances here and there. It's definitely not a bad gig. Yeah, no, for sure. I do think there is something to Tony where he could come up and do something there, but I mean,
you had to get rid of that Italian.
Oh, you had
to get rid of that. The main roster would have freaking destroyed.
And you had to get rid of it. And I even said it then because I saw some people saying when they did the Tony Soprano thing that he was going to do this on the main roster, whatever then. And I was like, no. You got to work through all the kinks, get it, and then you get the taste out of people's mouth. Do this in NXT for 6 months to a year, and then come up where people don't remember. Hey, forget about it. Yeah, nobody wants that. Exactly. But I like this. I think Tony is talented. I always thought he was able to shine through the silly family gimmick, but. But even so, like you said about why they do things for a reason, like the family gimmick was silly, but. I mean, look at Tony. Stax Lorenzo's done pretty well for it. I forget the girl's name at this point, but she got injured. She was doing well with it. Rizzo. She was doing well and getting better, and then she blew out her knee. So
right.
But I like it. Then we had the speed tournament start, which is Charlie Dempsey, William Regal's son, is another one of just people that they want to make. He can make people look great. And like LaFleur's not going to get injured wrestling him. Dempsey can sell well, make LaFleur look good, and get LaFleur over. And that's what they're trying to do.
Guy LaFleur look good. Look at that.
I always keep thinking of what is it, Mallrats with the security guard, LaFleur's. Yeah, it's every time I see him, and I feel bad because it's not his fault. But it's just. I watched that movie way too much as a kid. I had it on VHS.
Dempsey's fun to watch.
I like him.
He's missing one little thing, and it's going to take some time still. He just needs some muscle.
Yeah, and he's still very young. I think he's like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like this promo from Joe Hendry afterwards too, where he is saying like, "Look, I'm not just here to be a fun entertainer. I'm here to win. I'm here to do more." And you've been talking about it for a while that the character does have to evolve and grow, and I've fully agreed with you. But I'm glad they didn't like rush it and do it too. Like he got to do the say his name and he appears in NXT. They had fun with it, but now it's time to move forward. Honestly, when I saw this promo, I was like, maybe he can win tonight. I still thought it was going to be Ricky, but maybe Joe could win.
I noticed one thing right here that I wrote down. Shawn Michaels knows how to format a TV show.
Yes.
Because this flowed and everything kind of just, and it's the whole show, but I wrote it down here because after that last match, the 5-minute speed match, you need something to like calm down from because you're all hyped up. It's perfectly formatted.
Yeah, no, and it's one of the things I complain about when we watch NXT about how sometimes they're not NXT, AEW, where there's like 3 video, like there's like an interview and then 2 backstage segments or a vignette. It's like 2 is the most you can do. Once you play the third one, I've forgotten the first one. You gotta, or just doing 3 matches in a row. You gotta break them up and go back and forth. You're totally right.
Yeah, if you just had like a 15-minute match, which they do in AEW all the time, 15-minute match, and then you had 3 segments afterwards of promos, you forgot about the 15-minute match already.
Yeah,
and the first promo.
Yeah, exactly. I also thought it was good that Joe mentioned here, like, hey, I was in the Royal Rumble last year. I was at WrestleMania last year. Now I'm trying to focus on the NXT title. All good stuff. And then you had the TNA Knockouts tag title match, which is like the further disintegration of Zaruka. Honestly, I was more surprised by the Elegance brand being able to hold their own in this. I watch TNA, but I kind of listen more, and I'm usually video editing and doing other things and pay not detailed close attention. And they've always kind of looked, I'm not saying they looked great, but they just looked better in this match than I've seen them look. And, it made a lot of sense to see what they were doing.
The people that they're going against help
a lot. So much. But this was that spot that you were talking about and I thought this was done so well because you got to time it perfectly with with the Soul Snatcher. And I mean, she pushed Zarya right in and Zarya laid out for it. And it was a cool little spot of the way to do it. And the way they make it look like is that Soul didn't mean to do it, but if she's gonna stay in NXT, I hope that she did mean to do it, because that would be good for her character. But we will see. We will see.
She didn't look too distraught afterwards.
Yeah,
she looked like surprised, but not.
Yeah, more might be mad that they didn't win a title than hitting her friend. But
It was nicely done.
It was.
I'm not a big fan of the Elegance brand, but they did well here. But I'm with you 100% that if you team them with a team of lesser caliber than Zaruka and Saul,
which a lot of times they do it in TNA, where it's where they've got to wrestle like Jakara Jackson and whatever Miss Sade, I think is her name, and so there was somebody because they had a good match against the Iconics too, and the Iconic at the pay-per-view, and because the Iconics are talented. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And then I like this with Ethan Page, because I don't know much about the Vanity Project. I just know that they're supposed to be pretty boy douchebags from Evolve. That's perfect to be teamed with Ethan Page. And Ethan Page is a perfect mentor for those type of guys. So this segment wasn't much, but I enjoyed it, and I love everything Ethan Page does. I like how he holds his belt. He's got the second one hanging over his arm. Like, that's good stuff.
He's a professional. I mean, again, this is the guy that doesn't need to go anywhere. We mention it every week, and every week I will say it again and again. And there's never, not only is there no argument against it, but it's absolutely perfect for him. Honestly, if he got called up, I think I'd be mad.
I just don't know where it would go with it. Unless
that's the problem.
Something, unless it's something
Chelsea doing comedy shit all fucking SmackDown. I don't want that. He's a good wrestler.
Unless they're gonna do like a mixed title something or other or something with it, but I don't think they need to, and I don't think he wants to. It seems like he's happy with it, with where he's at. And then we had I like this with the rebirth of Lexis King and Stax Lorenzo being heels and being more of like, no, we were pushed down for. We were enhancement talent and helping people look better the last year to 2 years, but now we're coming into our own. That was when they attacked Mike Santana on TNA months ago and helped Kazarian win. Like, I liked all of that. I think it's good for them, because I do think Lexis King, there's something there. Like, the guy has got talent for sure. And
Booker loves the guy. Jeez.
Yeah, and so does CM Punk. I've heard CM Punk in 2 different interviews talk about him. And when Punk first came back to WWE and was like getting back into ring shape, there was a video on on the WWE vlog, and he wrestled with it was Bron Breakker, Lexis King, Charlie Dempsey, and Trick Williams. And it's like, yep, exactly. Those are I'm like, yeah, that tracks. Those are good dudes to work with. And yeah, Punk knows what he's doing. So
there was one camera shot during this match that I happened to look up at the right time, and Lexis King was featured in the shot, and I looked at him and said, "What's Brian Pillman doing here?"
Nice.
Just happened to be the frame. When it went away, it didn't look like it anymore, but it was just one little quick shot that I caught.
Certain angles and facial expressions. Like, I like this shot too, because if you remember, like when he was in AEW and even the first year in NXT, he had a pretty decent beer gut. Like, he's got he's not got full abs there, but he's got some. Like, I like the kid. I think he's good. And yes, I'll admit it that the dead dad stuff always gets me in with it. And yeah, with him and Brett Pillman, like, there's always going to be a part of me that roots for those guys. And then JC Jane comes out. I titled this picture "The Queen of NXT." That is what she is. She is NXT's queen.
As well, you should.
As well she should be. And this was cool, because this was her, putting herself over and kind of building what the title picture is going to be moving forward with it. And she calls out Sol Ruca, because Sol's the one that everybody loves and thinks that she's the face of NXT. But Zarya comes out, and just more dissension with Zarya and Sol Ruca, and more fun stuff with this. I liked all of this with it. I liked JC's just such a good bitch. Like, it's in it. Yeah. She's mean girl. The phrase I was looking for specifically was mean girl, like from that high school mean girl. But yeah, and she's great. And it's great to see because remember too, I mean, she was just Mandy Rose's lackey in what was it, Toxic Attraction 2 years ago, and now she's built her way up here. And
you know what I really liked about this? Her promo, when the crowd started doing their chant, and she just took over the mic. Like, she could have crumbled right there.
Yep.
The crowd took it over, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
and she She didn't even blink an eye, man. She took it right over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, and you could see it in her face. It didn't even phase her a second. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Just her eyes looked right through it. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it worried me for a minute.
Yeah, but yeah, she's a professional. She's good at it. Now. Someday, sooner than later, I could see her getting called up and being a part of the mix in the main roster. But also, if this is the end game, this is a great end game for her. There was also the segment that I couldn't find the picture of online of Blake Monroe attacking Jada Parker.
Because that was outdoor camera footage of someone's phone.
Yeah.
That was nicely done.
But that was what made it work, because it looked more real. It looked more.
They were real police, Jake.
Yeah.
They were real policemen. That's why.
Yeah.
They had guns in their holsters. I took note of that.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. Like, these are real cops. Perfect.
That's a good point. Yeah. No, I loved it. I thought that was great. Plus, it's a cool little program for both of them, and that's fun. And then we get to the main event where the 7-man ladder match keeps throwing me off. It's just, aren't they usually 6 men? I don't know. But this was fun. I mean, this was cool. You had, Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry, Keanu Carver, Shiloh Hill, Dion Lennox, Jackson Drake, and what's the other kid's name? Sean Legacy. That's Sean Legacy. Name. Yeah, I'm bad. But this was kind of cool to see. I mean, this is where you had to refresh the roster. You lost probably 3 of your 5 biggest men's star on the show. You lost them, but aside from Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry, maybe Ethan Page too. But they're refreshing with it, and this was cool to see. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of multi-man stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of ladder matches, but we're here. I'm going to watch it and enjoy it. And there was a lot of spots in this, but everything made sense. There was still logic in it. It wasn't just spots for spot's sake, at least from I felt like. I do love Joe Hendry's dive where he just, I don't know what to call that, but he just lops himself over the ropes. I love it. I don't know why.
It's hard to do the spots where you go into the guys waiting to catch you. But
yeah.
We're at that point, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a good point. That's a good point. And then you had Shiloh Hill being crazy.
This was cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck is what?
Like, how did you
looked at my TV and I yelled at my TV?
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it was fun. I was like, okay, all right. No, and clearly people believe in this kid. There's a lot. I mean, Undertaker's talked about him. Other people really like this kid. So that's cool. That was fun. And then there's just a lot of different chaos in there. Again, my problem with a lot of these matches, people have to go and lay on the outside and do whatever there. But yeah, it's what you're going to get. But how else are you going to do this in the sense, too, of just what are you going to do? Have a tournament for the winner of it or whatever? Like a ladder match makes sense. It's fun. People get to get over. And a lot of fans do love a ladder match. Yeah.
I wrote this down.
Ow.
Just a bit short on the 450.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that he even tried it, though, like that's just that picture when it's a 450 and you think he's got to go. Oh yeah, you could see it, not gonna fully land it. But hey, I mean,
I thought he was gonna break his neck.
I thought he was gonna like scalp himself. Is what I thought was gonna happen.
Yes.
But yeah. And then the other big one was Keanu Carver.
Now this is after Carver just destroyed everybody and put him through everything. So I wrote down MVP Carver because I had it before he did this. And then he did this, and I was like, okay, well.
And you could see the bodies straying around the ring. There's somebody's in the ring. Yeah, exactly. No, that's why this picture was, he's just, yeah. But this is how you get this guy over from the start. I mean, the first time most people saw him was a couple of weeks ago when Ava was announcing this ladder match. He came out when everybody's out there, just beat the crap out of everybody. And then they showed the stuff with him and Booker on LFG. And then they had that, what was it? The sit down interview where he was screaming at people and throwing stuff, showing you this guy's okay. Oba went up, but we've got this guy. And that's what NXT is for. That's why I always compare it to college.
What's his group called?
His group?
That he's in, or is he by himself?
He's by himself. He's not in Dark State.
I'm confusing him with somebody else.
Yeah. No, Dion Lennox was the other. He's in Dark State. No, this guy is more of like the lone wolf type character with it. Good. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's that thing like no one can get too close to him or whatever with it. But this is how you get somebody over right from the beginning, and that's why NXT I always compare it with college football to pros. Like, a great college team, you're going to have a player for what, 2-3 seasons, and then you get to watch him in the pros, but then that's what this is with them. But I really, really enjoyed it. And then you had, and I thought for sure it was going to be Ricky Saints. I still thought that Royce Keys might show up, especially once Keanu was murdering everybody. I'm like, oh, Royce Keys will come out, stop him, and then Ricky wins. But that's not what happened. And cool, like just like we're talking about, we at this channel can take constructive criticism. We can also live with it if our fantasy booking doesn't work out. Okay. No big deal. Like, this is cool. I'm very happy for Joe Hendry. Like, that's cool. And, Ricky Saints being pissed and chasing with it should be fun too. Do you want to put this up really quick too? I got to shout out to Joe Hendry. I met him at the meet and greet February of last year. And now when he was TNA champion, and now he's NXT champion. Shout out to Joe Hendry. I've done a few different meet and greets in my life. Easily the nicest person I ever met at one of them was Joe Hendry. And you can see in his face there how tired he was. I don't even know why he was here. There wasn't a show here. He just came in and did it. But super nice guy. At least
it makes the experience better for the people that are paying money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was a big fan of I'm a big fan of Joe Hendry, and this is cool to see and happy for him. I mean, that's awesome. I'm happy.
I think we all thought this was going to happen much earlier. But I'm glad they waited for it because
But I think it's cool too, where they kind of let him have his comedy and the gimmick stuff early, get introduced to everybody, and then plus he's already had a Mania moment. He's already been in the Rumble. It's
nailed it.
It's kind of he's like running the bases kind of backwards with it, but he's still getting around and it's fun. And I'm really happy for the guy, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do moving forward with it. I assume he'll probably keep it till Stand and Deliver, but we'll see. It was a good NXT overall, and a good week for the shows coming out of the Royal Rumble. I also the other thing I forgot to mention, but I wrote down, was the video package where they showed how there was people in both Rumbles that are still in NXT or the people that just graduated from NXT, and all of them looked great. Everybody got a moment to shine and looked awesome on the Rumble. So, and this is why we enjoy NXT.
Did a nice job. Yeah. Overall, I think I texted you. I enjoyed NXT as a whole more than I did Raw. The whole show just flowed through. I enjoyed Raw. I enjoyed Raw. Don't get me wrong, but and I never thought I would ever tell you that. Seriously in my life, because I just enjoyed the way the show flowed. Again, Shawn Michaels knows how to format a show, and that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, and that's what NXT, the Raw is going to have like the bigger moments with the bigger stars and like the bigger, but NXT, I always think as a whole, I'm usually more entertained and I have more fun watching NXT. And this week's Raw was very much how they do a lot of Raws, where they bookend it with amazing stuff. It started off with Braun, it was great. Ended it with Roman and Punk, and the stuff in the middle was still good, and there was some great stuff in it. But NXT was much more of consistent all the way through. You didn't have
good flow,
no lulls, good flow. Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go, leading into the road to WrestleMania and the road to Stand and Deliver. I do believe NXT's got a PLE before Stand and Deliver. Once we know when and where that is, we will plan a watch party for y'all, since we did it with the deadline. We're like, we'll get this started as a every month or whatever, and they haven't had a PLE since. So, but that'd be fun. That was just like our Thursday and Sunday shows, where hey, we're gonna give it a shot. If people like it and we have fun, we'll continue to do it. And Thursday and Sunday we do every week now, and we hope everybody can attend our live shows. That's every Thursday at Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Alt Jake Takes On YouTube channel. Every Sunday at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time, except for this Sunday, since it's Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to go on at 1 p.m. Eastern. 105. Yeah, right. 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are across the pond and a listener and don't get to tune in live, come on over. Come in, tune in live. We will.
I really expect to see some European representation. I really do. No, seriously, I really do.
Yeah. I know we know for a fact we've got a few English fans for sure, and people that tune in. So hopefully there'll be more, because we haven't done this. We haven't done the earlier show since we've kind of seen the more recent growth. So I'm excited to do it. That'll be a lot of fun. And then also you can always catch me on Toonie Talk Wrestling every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, youtube.com/@Toon Wrestling. I've got an intro video and my name is in the credits. So I'm a full-time, I'm no longer a recurring cast member. I'm a main cast member now. So if you guys haven't checked that out, by all means.
You know what's nice about it is you do that over there and you really don't bring it here.
Yeah, it's different worlds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I like that because that's out of my ballpark there.
Yeah, and it's just it's one of the reasons that we didn't do a lot of like Dave stuff, and I think it's because other people were doing it. One of them being the Toonie Talk guys. They do it better than we could. I just get to now do that with them, and it's great because there have been times where I've wanted to do that here, but it just didn't fit, and it's not really our thing. Like maybe on a Sunday here or there, we've got a couple things when he's brought it up, and I probably would have talked about the Billy Gunn stuff with you because it was funny of it, but we covered it on Toonie Talk. So if you want to hear my thoughts on Billy Gunn not being in the top 200 of Dave's ever,
that was funny.
That was great too. Like he's never been the top 200. Let me just pull up the last 3 PWI top 500s from 97, 98, 99.
I thought he said at first I thought he said top 20. And I'm like, okay, that's respectable. He's not
and if he'd have said that, we would have been a much different. I think that might be what he wanted to do. I mean, even if he said top 50, I could have talked about it.
Then he said, then I heard 200, and I was like, okay, that's not true.
Especially back then. Like nowadays, there's more wrestlers because there's, you know what I mean? Like back then, just whatever, Dave. But that's Dave for you, and that's what we will get you guys on Toonie Talk Wrestling every Tuesday. Yeah, and we're back here every Thursday and Sunday live on the Alt Jake Takes On YouTube channel. But shout out to the replay crew as well. But please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. You would be shocked how much that stuff helps the algorithm. And anything else you want to get to before?
Yeah, when you're in the live chat, hit the like button, hit the heart.
Yeah,
those little heart things. I don't know what they do exactly, but they do help.
They do.
I read up on it, and they do help a lot.
Any interaction you can do with the videos on the actual YouTube page will always help. So awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We will catch you next time. Tune in this Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern for our AEW Dynamite review. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.
We appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.